I mean, I heard it in an interview before, I forgot who said it, but they said a true artist's work is never done. And I think Reynolds actually said it in skate terms. It's like, even when you're finished with a part, you're not finished with a part, you know, it's just on to the next project. So, and I rolled my ankle a month before the actual, like, we couldn't film anymore, like done. So when I was healed, they were done, edit was done, turned it into the theater. So that kind of sucked. I didn't really get to go out and get a proper ender that I wanted, like a one-trick ender, but it worked out really well because then we had like this little section at the end that was like, I don't want to give too much away, but it was just kind of like my ender section. So that worked out really well. I was happy about that. I mean, it's been a trip, just like the whole route along the way, and like it just kind of like worked out in a way that happened all naturally. Like Mike was down to editing the video. It was like a couple months before like cutthroat time, and when he was like telling me like, hey, we want to give you last part. And that definitely gave me more motivation to go out and skate a little bit differently in a way, because I didn't want like my last part in the video to just be like a bunch of stairs and kind of like what everyone's seen of me. So that's when we went out and got that kickflip back tail on the bank to wall and like stuff like that to like kind of like versatile it. And dude, those tricks I worked harder for than I worked for anything in my entire life. Like I'm talking 3 times back, or like one trick, the kickflip back nose grind on in this ditch where I like grind it for a minute and pop out. And that was on like 3 hours of just, dude, I was down to my last straw, had no energy, and I couldn't even do it on my own. I was like praying to my friends in the sky. I was like, please give me some strength right now, help me like make this, please, dear God. And I did it that try. It was insane. I started crying after. I shed tears of like joy, sorrow for missing my friends probably, but like at the same time, it was just such a good moment of everything that came together. It was awesome. So definitely some more hard work was put into different tricks in this video part than I have ever put into in any other video part. So that was something I could definitely say we tried harder to do, was just make it more versatile, not just like stairs and gaps, but more so like put in some hours, maybe try to film some lines, you know, even if it was a line to a gap or stair, like we put in the effort, we didn't just do the single, you know, and like just definitely tried to make it more worthwhile. You know, I tried this time. I wanted it to be, because I ended up filming this ledge line around dusk where it was like still kind of bright outside. And then I ended up filming some lines and ledge tricks at night, and I wanted to maybe do like a part that kind of was like a little climactic, led into some nighttime where it was like my full ledge part, and all my ledge tricks were at night. But while I was out filming at night with the ledge tricks, I ended up getting a few stair tricks. And then it just got to the point where I was like, shit, man, you know, this is just not gonna work. And I completely gave up on my idea. And at that point, it was back all into Mike's hands. Like, I always kind of took a step back at that point, because I'm not one that ever went to school for that or even has any knowledge for that. So I'm the type to be like, if I'm gonna go in there and try to help you with this, I may be the reason it gets fucked up. Like, I'll just stay back, you know, and it's obviously a great thing that I don't get involved because Mike nails it, so. To be honest, after the video came out, I saw more appreciation posts for Mike, like all hail Mike after the video came out for the editing and killing it on the filming, than I saw like people post about the skaters in the video. And that's real shit, on Instagram at least, you know? Like, we get all our fame on like the Thrasher sites, they take photos of us for the premiere photos, but on Instagram I saw dozens, like a few dozen freaking people post about Mike and just like how he kills it. And then I got inspired and I posted some stuff about Mike, of course, because it's like, dude, he kills it. And that was probably where I saw another half of the dozen was on people's stories, and who knows, like just all over. Like, people love Mike, dude, he's a freaking legend. Well, that Bones part's actually footage that didn't get used for Real Street that's coming out in a couple months, or Etnies video, like complete. And there's still some stuff, to be honest, that isn't used in anything right now. I can think of a couple of things, but there's reasons for that. Like I was saying, how like when we come down to the editing, it just doesn't fit. I don't know why it didn't make it into the Bones part, but maybe Mike wants to keep it for something, so that's cool. Yeah, it being a full length, you definitely want to put your best stuff towards it, you know, like, and if like, say you have a trick, for example, like, how should I say, you film tricks in your previous parts that are like on something, you want to do it on a bigger thing this time, you know, and that's just natural for yourself, I guess, for myself. And I think that's what the progression of skateboarding really is. It's like Shane O'Neill didn't just start doing nollie tray flip 50180s, you know. He personally started with a nollie tray back tail probably, right? Because that's the one they get into first. Then he was like, oh, let me try this back 5.0. So the progression of skateboarding is really just the progression of a person in its own, outdoing himself, and that naturally becomes a higher as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I feel like my skateboarding, where you asked how, like, if I went harder for this being a full length, it's just naturally goes a little harder than before, and I think that's what ties into that, so, yeah. This is such a dreadful answer because I tried to tray flip El Toro. I'm not gonna say I landed it because I didn't land it. Don't fucking take that the wrong way. I did not land it. The word not is in play. Did not, you know, fuck, dude. Don't want to start that upon myself. Fucking hell. But I stuck it, and like, the fact that I couldn't roll directly away from it made me feel like it's bigger. But you know how I just got back on independent? The reason for that being is I went to El Toro and broke one truck, had another complete, broke a truck. 2 good trucks on the complete, put them on another board, broke another truck. And I'm like, dude, I can't land this with Ventures. And I'm not gonna be that dude who goes and does one trick with Independence and then just stays on Venture. If I know the trucks aren't good for me, I'm gonna make a move, you know, I'm gonna do the right thing for myself. And thankfully, Rhino at Independent was down to let me get back on, so that was amazing. I think there was a little more pressure in the beginning because you definitely know, like, as your first impressions are everything, you want to make a good first impression on your very first video part. And yeah, I think this one today, kids already know all the tricks you have. They're just expecting to see it on cool shit. So at that point, you just gotta like make sure you pick and choose your spots wisely. And yeah, you know, be a little more careful with your battles, especially these days, you know. I have ankle spurring in my right ankle, so it's like a little bit rough right now. So I had to kind of pick and choose my battles a little bit more. And then, yeah, I rolled my ankle freaking a month before the deadline, so that kind of sucked. And yeah, different things at different times definitely take different tolls on what you're doing for sure. That question is so crazy because it's always changing, you know, like, it's like, people ask me right when I had her, like, oh, how is it being a dad? Right now, I don't know, you know? When it first happened, I don't know, you know? I just had her. I have no experience of this yet. A year in, it was kind of like, okay, I get it now. Even now that you're asking this question, I could probably talk about it maybe 30 minutes because there's so much more to it. But just to break it short and sweet, she's like 18 months now, so she's at the point where she's already beginning terrible twos, throwing tantrums, like has her own little personality. She knows, we tell the dogs no all the time, so she's picked up on that now because of how often we have to tell the dogs no for like whatever reason, like jumping on the couch or like knocking her down or whatever, you know, on the carpet or whatever. So we'll have to like tell them no, and she's picked up on that now. She'll be like, no, no, no. And I'm just like, you're 16 months old or 18 months old. Like, what are you doing? You're already saying all this stuff and like trying to have conversations like, and then I'm just in my mind picturing one day those being full on words, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in for it, dude. It's gonna be a little chatterbox. I guess it all kind of just depends. I've always wanted to do the best skating I can do. I've never really tried to take the easy route when it comes to that. When it actually came down to having the kid, you almost consider more about your injuries and wanting to like go home and be able to hold your daughter and not have to like have a fucked up wrist and be like, oh, I can't hold her, I can't change the diaper. Like, so for that aspect, for me, for the first year, I was more like hands-on and I wanted to be there, so I wanted to like not risk getting injured. And then like since her first birthday, I've kind of gone more out on a limb and like taken more risks and whatever. Like I had her whole first year to like be with her and like grow with her, and not to say I want to not be with her now, but it's a little different now. You know, you've spent those first year with her, first months with her, and it's like you built that relationship, that bond. Like even I just saw a video my wife posted on Instagram on her story of her her crying, and it's just for no reason, just simply because I'm gone. She's all, somebody misses her daddy. I'm all, damn it. Well, just know I miss her too.